Hey guys, welcome back to TAMIYA Legends, and once again thank you for stopping by. So obviously today's edition is Schumacher Legends with the beautiful Cat XLS Riri. So this is a part 2 video to that. The part 1, the build video, was a very popular video and I got an awesome response. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. An absolute pleasure to build. So as I say, this is part 2, which is paint time. I have decided to do the box art Masami replica. I'm not the best painter in the world, so I've really got to take my time on this. So as you can see, it's 3 colours. So I'm using obviously TAMIYA paints, which is black PS5, red PS2, and I've gone for PS6 for the yellow. I'm really hoping it's a light yellow. I've seen a lot of Riri cats done and it's a real dark yellow. I don't think it matches the box art. I could be wrong. I had an original many years ago, before this car was even dreamed about, the Riri I mean, and we went for this colour, and I had the body professionally painted, and the yellow he used was like a yellowy lime colour, and it was awesome, a really light yellow. So I'm really hoping that this is going to be a light yellow. So as I said, first job we've got to do is trim the body up now, because I did it quite sort of rough. I think the wing's pretty much good to go. I've just got to sand the edges down and then that's ready. The main shell itself, I've got to open the spur gear nut hole up because that's still rubbing on the nut. The steering's catching, so I just need to trim that off, sand the shell, and just make it sit right really. And that's about it. So I'll spend a little bit of time doing that, and then it's going to be masking. And as I say, this masting's got to be cock on. I get a lot of comments saying use the oh god, I forgot the name of it, the liquid mask, but I've never used it. Now I know you've got to start at some point, but the fact that I've never used it, I should watch YouTube videos on it, shouldn't I? But definitely in the future I want to get hold of some and do it, because apparently it's just a much easier way than using tape. Anyway, this car's going to be masking tape, so we use TAMIYA masking tape, which I think is the best around. I think I'll be using the 8mm one to do the lines. In theory, when you think about what you're doing, it shouldn't be that difficult. It's just about getting this first line, the black to yellow line, straight. But it's kind of going to do it automatically when you put the tape on. You just got to make sure there's no creases on the corners, and then, as I say, a couple of stripes on the wing, and then just mask the rest of it up, and we'll blast it over with a couple of coats of black, and then whiz that off, and then just do the red band again. So in theory, the masking shouldn't be too involved. The kit itself comes with the window masks. From memory, I've heard bad things about these. I could be speaking out of turn, I don't know, but I believe a lot of guys have fitted these, and when you come to take them off after it's painted, it leaves some real nasty residue. But anyway, we've got products that'll take that off, and then of course we've got the beautiful decals. The thing about this car is, which I always remembered from the original one I did, you look at these decals and they look pants, don't they? You know, there's just nothing about them. Also, when the car's painted without the decals, it doesn't look great in the 3 colours. It kind of looks there. But this is one of those where once the paint's on and you start adding these decals, and then obviously a lot of these decals are transparent and well, they're not transparent actually. That's wrong, I don't know why I said that. A lot of these decals, because they look so sort of bland, but when they go on against the 3 colours of the paint and you get this effect, it looks absolutely epic. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway, I'm rattling on, so we need to get cracking on this. So let's have a look at the shell and what we've got to do. Trimmed off, but I do have a problem, and it's, let me just put this on. So in fact, before I do that, so as you can see, the car sounds great. So I thought this nut was rubbing on the body. So I opened the hole out, let's just put it on. So you put the shell on. Now it does clamp down a little bit on the front when the Velcro's on, but that doesn't make a difference. Now listen to this. So the spur gear's rubbing, it's not that hole. It appears to me, even if I push the body further back, still does it. It appears to me the spur gear is touching the shell. Now the shell's in the right position, which is mega odd. That's really annoying. As I say, so I don't need to open this hole up anymore. Now there is a separate gear cover. I think that spare's just rubbing at the back. But even if you sort of manipulate it and press it in or move it back, forward, to the side, still does it. So it'll be interesting, guys, to see if any of yours does this, or I've done something odd. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I don't want to cut any of the more of the body shell. So what I'm going to do is, obviously, we're going to get it masked now. My thinking is, when the black's on and it's painted, if I do that a couple of times, I'm going to be able to see on the actual shell where it's rubbing and then do something about it. But I don't know what that is. Very odd. Right, let's get on with masking. Right, first stage, get the window masks in. Nice and easy, to be honest. Nice and sticky as well. They go down really well. So next up now, to use this TAMIYA masking tape and figure out what line we're going to use. I'm obviously going to start here. So we're concentrating on the back of the car black. I'll show you that box. So obviously this breaker line is just underneath the canopy. Doesn't really matter if it's out by a couple of mil. There's no way of telling once the shell's done, because it looks great either way. But I'm going to sort of match it here. So I'm going to have a little bit of black there, and the straight line's going to sort of match the bottom of the window struts. So we'll just do that bit first, and then we'll come down the sides. Right, that's taken me about half an hour to line up, and I'm not that confident in it. It's very difficult. It's easy to get this centre piece across, so you get your black on this bit what I want. But to get these angles matching, I found really difficult. I think you can really see it. That's as close as I can get it. They're ending at the same point either side. I've sort of matched it to the edge of the window down on either side. So I'm just sort of trying to picture where the black's going to go. I think that's as good as I'm going to get it, to be honest. So I'm going to mask it all up now, all the front end and what have you. And then we'll get some alcohol wipes on it, clean it out, this bit, and then we'll get some paint on it. But next bit now is to do the same with the wing. Now I am going to go slightly different from what the box shows you, and the original slightly, because I want to copy the paint job I had done on my original. Now I know it doesn't match box art, but it had the red stripe was a little bit thicker, which I kind of liked, and it started a little bit earlier. So I'm going to try copy that on this, and then so anyway, let's get it masked. Right guys, the moment of truth. So masked off, ready for the black, and that looks a little bit involved, but obviously I had to take the film off the wing. So just masked around it, but all the important bits I've got the TAMIYA masking tape on. I've got to be honest, I'm really not confident. Two things I'm worried about: that my lines are not right and it's going to show up more once the paint's on, and secondly that there's any masking leaks. I mean, masking leaks are fixable. I've got the TAMIYA polycarbonate cleaner, which can take some paint off and redo it, but I think that'd be a nightmare if that happens. So I'm really concerned about those, and as I said, I am not confident at all, but I've spent ages on this, so I need to get some paint on it and then let it dry, and then we'll take it off and see what we've got. Oh god. Right, that's 2 or 3 coats of the black on. The shell went really well, and that's almost dry to the touch now, in fact it is. That went on really well. As usual, these wings and to get into these creases is an absolute nightmare, and I end up flooding it. I try not to, but I have. So black's luckily the most forgiving colour, I guess. So I really need, because there's a lot of paint in the edges, that's going to take a while to dry off. So there's not a great deal to see on this one at the moment. But I'm 100% know I'm going to have to get some more paint in there, probably by a brush. So I'll have to leave that for now. This one, as I say, has come out better and you get more of a view of it. So far the angles and that look straight, but whether we've had any leaks or whatever, we won't know yet. So I'll give that 10-20 minutes to dry, and then we'll come back and we'll get the masking off. Right guys, moment of truth. The paint's dried on the shell. I'm not touching the wing just yet, so I'll whiz this masking tape off and let's see what we've got. Right, I think we're okay. It looks okay. I've still obviously got the outer protection on. It doesn't look bad. Problem with these is, in my experience, it's when you put the next coat on. I mean, the lines look pretty straight, but when you put the next coat on, I think this might be a tiny issue here, just on these dimples. I think we've had a tiny little bit of leak. I might see if I can get some cleaner in there, but it's in a really awkward position. So I'll have a look at the spoiler now, see if that's fully dried. And we'll do the same with that, because that's definitely going to need some work. Right, as expected, the wing is terrible. I knew it would be. So my lines are good. They're nice and straight, but we've had three massive leaks on the end. If you can see that there and there, and nowhere near enough paint on the insides, as you can see. I hate doing wings like this. There's been some run on the outside, but the TAMIYA polycarbonate cleaner will take that straight off. So I'm not too bothered about the outside of it, that's fixable. But I am going to have to get this stuff off. I'm going to let it get a little bit harder actually, then I'm going to take these bits off, see if I can doctor these lines, as it were. But we're going to have to be careful with that, because I need to spend some time on that and make sure that's right before we mask the next stage up. Anyway, I knew that was coming. Right, I've absolutely flooded the wing to get paint to run down. As I say, thank goodness it's black, because you couldn't really do that in any other colour, I don't think. And it looks like it's filled most, but I've left it's just hardening because there's so much paint in it, so I'm just leaving the wing alone for now. So we've come back up and we've masked the red part off. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, I really don't. Very much out of my comfort zone here. Anyway, I don't really want to say this because it's going to sound like I'm a complete cop-out, but I've kind of made my mind up. I'm going to go put the red into this now, but if it doesn't work and the lines are not looking correct, then I'm going to take the red back out. I'm going to go completely black, same with the spoiler, and do the original box art scheme. Don't want to do that, but I don't want to have a shell that's crap. So anyway, I might be sort of preempting what's going to happen, but let's go get some red painting. Right, so that's the wing I was talking about, but as you can see, because I flooded it, I've got a load of paint in there, but it's really thick. It's still not in every part of it, but I think I've just about got away with it. Obviously once the decals are on and what have you, but I'm going to have a massive clean up job with this when I take all the masking off. Anyway, I'm going to do that very soon. The red's in, and as I say, I have no idea. The red and black line looks pretty good. Tiny little bit of black seeped through, but I'm really not that bothered. It's okay for me. It's a nice red as well, nice and sharp. So, but the lines are sharp. I guess that's all you can ask for, but obviously I won't know if I've got my dims right until I get this off. I really hope it is, because obviously it's only yellow after that and there's no more sort of masking lines, I just spray. Anyway, that's hardening out, so what's next? As I say, yeah, we'll get cracking on the wing again. Right, the red's turned out okay. Far from perfect, but it'll do for me. It's hard to sort of keep it straight so you can see the lines. But it's okay. So just got to let that harden out. As I said, at least it's just blast the yellow into the last bit of it now. But I need that paint to just harden a bit more. It's a nice summer's day here, so it's red hot, so it's drying very quickly. But the wing is a complete other story. I took all the masking off, and I knew I had to get some of the excess paint out. I mean, I drained it out at the beginning, but as you can see, it's run all over. But after I started, it was actually all over here on the inside. So I started with a polycarbonate paint cleaner, body cleaner. If you've never used that stuff, it looks like this. Obviously, it's a polycarbonate cleaner, but if you put a bit extra on and you keep scrubbing, it actually takes the paint off. I wouldn't suggest trying a full shell with it because I've done that and it's too much hard work. But to clean something like this up, it's absolutely awesome stuff. So as I say, it's a real mess, but I just need to leave this alone now to completely harden. This stuff will come off very easily, but obviously it's running here, so I'm gonna have to put new lines on, and that all needs to be done before I can do anything else with it. And obviously when that's off, I've got to make sure that this bit is mega clean before we put any more paint on. Oh dearie me, I do really need to improve on my painting, I really do. I'm not too sure where I go wrong. I guess I'm just using the wrong equipment. You know, my lines are good, but you know, how do you guys get into these bits down the side of these wings? Do you airbrush them or something? Or because I did what I believe to be correct, just a tiny little bit of spray each time, let it harden and keep doing it and try to build it up. But it just put a line there. There was nothing getting down there. Paintbrush I couldn't get down, and then obviously you're trying to sort of force it and open it up, and it just seems wrong. Anyway, next time you see this, it'll be perfect. Right, let's crack on. Right, that's the yellow in. The protective film's obviously still on, but I don't think it's that bad. It's far from perfect, but I think it's actually ended up better than I thought it was gonna. There's, you see those red to yellows, not great. I don't know if you can see it. It don't come across on camera actually, but anyway, the wing's still drying. It's really odd, you know, because all the sort of horror stories about the XLS Riri was all about the build, and I absolutely loved the build. And I actually thought, I was a bit wary because of free colours when it came to paint, but I thought, be alright, just take your time and that. Anyway, I've just been posting on the Facebook group, and people who have done the Riri were just saying the wing is an absolute nightmare to get the paint in, so I'm not alone. So I think the wing's gonna be hours from drying, and I need it to be 100% before I start cleaning it up and doing the next bit. So we'll probably just work on this while we're waiting. So we'll let this harden, and then we'll whiz the window mask out, and then take the protective film off and see what it looks like properly. And there she is. It looks alright. God, that's been so much work. Unbelievable. Looks good though. The window, I'd read somewhere that the window masks were, when you take them off, they left nasty residue, but none of that. Really adhesive though. God, I've got to really trim this front end up. It's terrible. Oh, there's a black mark. Oh no. Just saying that. Anyway, that's going to have to stay. Well, we'll wait till everything's on to see if we can see it, but I don't really fancy taking any paint off. But I thought I trimmed this body better. It's terrible. Anyway, that's that. So we'll let that harden off properly. And then back to the wing. Right, so because I'm waiting for the wing, I might as well, it's not normally the order I like to do things, but I might as well get the decals on the actual shell itself, making sure that I don't use any wing ones, so I'm going to have to be doubly careful, because I normally do the decals on the wing first. Anyway, let's get on with it. Boom! Look at that. Now that's a thing of beauty, isn't it? Absolutely love it. Still got to trim the front end up. I got lazy and carried away and wanted to get all the decals on. Yeah, that looks class. Pure class. Absolutely loving that. The blemishes in the paint, not an issue now. You just, all the decals, just everything, there's just nothing you concentrate on because there's just that much going on with this shell. But absolutely epic. Right, I do have a little beef, and it's with myself. I never thought for a second about this being a re-re and decals changing from the original. It never crossed my mind. Had it been a TAMIYA, I would have taken it for granted. But so of course the original, the powered by, was HPI. So again here, powered by, and they've just put sort of marks, and it should be HPI. There's another one somewhere, I can't remember. The original had a big HPI in the wing. Anyway, it's my own fault, but I've carried on and put the re-re decals on. But if I'd have looked, I would have ordered a set of repos from MCI and just changed those particular ones to have it sort of identical to the original. No biggie at all, and probably most people wouldn't know. But not to worry. Right, I've gone as far as I can again. Still waiting for that atrocious wing to dry, so let's have a look at that. Right, operation cleanup. I'm not going to say successful, but obviously way better than it was. I'm going to have to trim a bit more of this edge. There's some paint that's dug right into edges that I can't get off, but that's no biggie, and I can do that later. So obviously I'm just adding the next stripes, trying to get the right distance. There's a load of decals that go on this, so any blemishes, fingers crossed, should be covered, but it's way better than it was, as you can see. There's still a mark there, but not a lot I can do about that. Anyway, let's carry on getting it masked off, and then we'll get the red on, and fingers crossed. Right, red's in, drying now, dry to the touch, but I need it to harden. And I noticed it left its mark when I was pulling the masking tape off, but luckily it's not done the top layer or anything. That don't look too bad, does it? But obviously we're not going to be able to tell anything until the masking's off. But okay, that's not too bad. What is going to be bad is the back end of this. It's not going to look great at all. I might have to go over the outside ridge black when it's all done to get rid of the colours and just do it in one colour. But I wouldn't have thought it'd be looking like that 2 or 3 hours ago, whenever it was, so can't complain. Right, let's let it harden, and then we'll come back to it. Right, I'm rushing a little bit now. I've whizzed the masking tape off, I needed to see what it was going to be like. Don't look bad, doesn't look bad at all. I'm quite happy with it. There's going to be a little bit of, not so much yellow going into the red, but it's not going to be a really sharp line, but you can see that. But it's better than it was. No idea how that back's going to look, but again, I'm not that bothered. I can fix that. Right, we'll let it dry, and then let's blast it with yellow. Right, we happy. I'll stop moaning about the wing now. So yellow's in, and turn it round, and that's how it looks. It's come out alright. I'm very happy, considering what happened. So the front of it's pretty sharp, and the back is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. The lines are not good. I need to take a bit of this edge off, but all in all, that's pretty cool, to be honest. Very happy. Right, I'll let the paint harden, and then I've got the decals ready to go on, so it should be pretty quick to finish now. Boom! Finished at last. God, that was hard work. Anyway, that's it. Looks pretty sweet. Edge is done. Awesome. I've not even let that yellow paint dry properly. Or it's dry, but it's not hard. Day's getting on. Full day again on a paint job. That's nuts, but it's pretty epic, isn't it? Right, we need to get this on the car. I'm itching to see it on the car. Let's do that. Well, there she is, guys, and I don't know how it comes across on camera, but that thing is epic. It's such a pretty RC car. I don't think it's dated at all, I must admit. I'm a sucker for the chrome wheels and the pinspike soft tyres. I just think it looks better with those on, but oh my word, what a car. There isn't a bad angle on this car. Absolutely stunning. Oh, well chuffed. Well, it was a lot of work, but God, I could look at that forever. I really could. It is absolutely stunning. Well, what a car. It's taken me a full day to get the paint and decals on. Granted, I made a big error on the wing, but it is what it is. But I've salvaged it, that's the main thing, and to be honest, it looks absolutely awesome. What a car! I actually found, I'm going to say the shell and wing harder than the build, but just the wing. God, I love it. If you've never seen one in the flesh, you have to get one. They're absolutely epic, and you know, they're straight on the track and they're epic. I don't know what else to say. I love it. It's a very, very special RC car. It's got that much history behind it, and obviously with this being the race replica one as well, and you can jump on YouTube and go find this race. I think it was 87 at Romsey, where he won the IFMA four-wheel drive world championship with this car. You know, it's don't get much better than that, does it? It really doesn't. You know, I'm a massive TAMIYA man, but I just love vintage RC. I know it's a re-re, but you just can't beat them. You really can't. Unfortunately, listen, I've got a battery in there to try and put it down. That spur gear, I need to find out what it's touching. It's definitely not anything to do with this nut. There is, I don't know if I mentioned it in the part 1 video, there is a separate polycarbonate gear cover that's like an optional fit, which obviously protects the spur gear, so might need to do that, but there's more chopping to be done. And to be fair, it didn't tell you in the instructions, apologies if I'm wrong, but it didn't tell you how to cut this shell to fit the gear cover. So we'll see anyway. This one's going back on the shelf for now, because I've got about 4, maybe 5 other cars waiting to get electrics in and do running videos. So this is just going to sit and look very, very proud. I think that's about it. I don't know how long this video's been, but I've got to say, and I said it at the end of part 1, what an absolute joy to build this kit. It's phenomenal. There's a lot of horror stories out there about the build and what have you. Just take your time. It's awesome. It really is. I've got a Reedy 19-turn vintage brush motor to put in it, which should just be on the sort of power limit for what this standard transmission can handle. But anyway, that's for another video, and that's not yet. I mean, I don't even want to run it. I did contemplate taking the under tray off and spraying that yellow, because that's what I did with my original one, and it looks really cool. Only beef, and it's completely on my fault. I never thought, because it's a re-re, that the decals would differ from the original. And as I say, it's a powered by, and there's lines on this one, but it should have been HPI. Not a biggie at all, but if I had looked, I could have ordered some repo ones from MCI and just changed the odd decal so it matched the original. But hey ho, I mean, if you didn't know that, to look at it you won't have a clue. Wow, right. Thank you for watching, guys, it's much appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us, that would be awesome. And most of all, guys, hit that notification bell for our weekly videos. There's only 16% of the 4,000 subs who've done that, so most of my subs are not seeing my videos, or you don't want to watch one or two. Anyway, as always, guys, happy RCing.